And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics, and now here's your host, Robert Cardoza. And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to the intersection of business and politics right here on Robert Cardoza Live, where I do an honest, unbiased analysis of the issues confronting you today that affect the decisions that you're going to make for both your personal and your business life. I come to you every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time on Spreaker Radio, Blog Talk Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide. I also broadcast on Roar 1776 Radio every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com for archives of both my radio and television shows. You can also access my show live right from my website each day simply by clicking on that icon labeled Listen Live. Email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com. That's where I get the emails I deal with here on the show. And you can call into my show if you want to comment or just engage me in conversation about anything. I don't care what it is. Call directly into the studio at 646-652-2464. Again, that number, 646-652-2464. On today's show, we're going to discuss what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses, and I'm going to answer your emails just like I always do. Now, today, my expert contributor is John Matthews in his Conservative Syndicate Corner, and my special guest, Sean LaFay, with his Geared for Wellness Corner, where he talks about health care with a holistic approach to what's going on in your health. Now, I want you to know that at 4:02 p.m. Pacific Time, it is currently 81 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 53 degrees. I can't wait for it to get a little bit cooler. That'll be good for all of us, won't it? But for now, let's deal with the news. And we've encapsulated that so we can get a lot of stuff in. And you can talk to your friends, your neighbors, the people you work with or work for, and they'll know that you know what's going on in the world today. Guaranteed. That's what we're going to do. How about this? Up first, secrecy shrouds a decade-old oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. A blanket of fog lifts, exposing a band of rainbow sheen that stretches for miles off the coast of Louisiana. From the vantage point of an airplane, it's easy to see gas bubbles and a slick that mark the spot where an oil platform toppled during a 2004 hurricane, triggering what might be the longest-running commercial oil spill ever to pollute the Gulf of Mexico. Yet, more than a decade after crude started leaking at the site formerly operated by Taylor Energy Company, few people even know about its existence. The company has downplayed the leak's extent and environmental impact, likening it to scores of minor spills and natural seeps the Gulf routinely absorbs. An Associated Press investigation has revealed evidence that the spill is far worse than what Taylor or the government had publicly reported during their secretive and costly effort to halt the leak. Presented with Associated Press's findings that the sheen recently averaged about 91 gallons of oil per day across 8 square miles, the Coast Guard provided a new leak estimate that is about 20 times greater than one recently touted by the company. Outside experts say the spill could be even worse, possibly one of the largest ever in the Gulf. Taylor's oil was befouling the Gulf for years in obscurity before BP's massive spill in mile-deep water outraged the nation in 2010. Even industry experts expected or haven't heard of Taylor's slow motion spill, which has been leaking like a steady trickle from a faucet compared to the fire hose that was BP's gusher. You know what? When are people going to just tell us the truth? Well, certainly not the companies that are guilty of all these kinds of things that are going on, but somebody should be watching them, don't you think? How about this? The Vatican unexpectedly ends the crackdown of the U.S. nun group. Here's the thing. The Vatican has unexpectedly ended its controversial overhaul of the main umbrella group, or U.S. nuns, cementing a shift in tone and treatment of the U.S. sisters under the social justice-minded Pope Francis. The Vatican said today it had accepted a final report on its investigation of the Leadership Conference of Women Religious and declared the implementation of the mandate has been accomplished, nearly 2 years ahead of schedule. The umbrella group for women's religious orders had been accused of straying from church teaching. The brief report stated the organization would have to ensure its publications have a sound doctrinal foundation and said steps were being taken for safeguarding the theological integrity of programs. But no major changes were announced, and the direct Vatican oversight that the sisters considered a threat to their mission was over. I think there are still some questions about how this is going to play out, but that it concluded early was an overwhelming affirmation of what the sisters do, said Natalia Imperatori Lee, a religious studies professor at Manhattan College. I didn't realize we were having that study going on. I knew about it, but I'd kind of forgotten. How about this? Putin is confident on the economy, offers to mend ties with the West. Yeah, that'll be the day. Russia has weathered the worst of its economic troubles and is on the road to recovery, President Vladimir Putin said today during a marathon call-in TV show, offering to normalize ties with the West if it treats Moscow as an equal partner and not a vassal. He also defended the delivery of a long-range air defense missile system to Iran, casting it as a reward for Tehran's flexibility in nuclear talks and vowing to continue working with global partners to reach a definitive solution to the country's contested nuclear program. Putin mixed promises with stern warnings and some humor during a carefully choreographed 4-hour national broadcast in an annual affair intended to burnish his father of the nation image and secure his control over the Russian political scene. His main message was that the gravest challenges are over and the slumping economy will be back on track soon. He also made it clear that Russia wants to end an end to the fighting in eastern Ukraine and is interested in rebuilding damaged ties with the United States and other Western nations. The United States and the European Union imposed sanctions on Russia over Moscow's annexation of the Crimean Peninsula and accusations of supporting separatists in the Ukraine. You know what? And it just keeps right on going. How about this one? Jeb Bush's campaign decision in relatively short order. Jeb Bush said today, he will make up his mind in relatively short order whether to seek the Republican nomination for president in 2016. The former Florida governor is going to New Hampshire to attend events called Politics and Pies in Concord today and Politics and Eggs in Manchester on Friday. He'll also speak at the GOP meeting Friday in Nashua with many potential rivals. Typical day in New Hampshire, apparently, Bush told reporters earlier today in Mississippi, where he attended a bill signing ceremony with Republican Governor Bill Bryant. Bush said he's not concerned that several other hopefuls are ahead of him in launching their campaigns. I'm on a journey to kind of measure support, Bush said. Other people's processes are not really that relevant to me. I'll make up my mind in relatively short order. I'm excited about just the possibility of being in a position to consider it. You know what? How much crap are we going to take? He's going to consider it. He's already considering it. He's going to do it, but he's going to do it on his own time schedule. We'll be right back after these brief messages. I'm going to talk about Obama could ease many Iranian sanctions without Congress. I'll tell you all about it after these brief messages. Don't go away. If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group, no mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. When we left, we were talking about news, and I was saying Obama could ease many Iranian sanctions without Congress. Let me tell you about it. Even if Congress rejects his final Iranian nuclear deal, President Barack Obama could use his executive pen to offer Tehran a hefty portion of sanctions relief on his own. Lawmakers have insisted on having a say on what could be a historic accord that the U.S. and 5 other nations are trying to finalize with Iran. The aim is to prevent the Islamic State from developing nuclear weapons, while in return, Iran would get a break from U.S., European, and UN sanctions that are choking its economy. Negotiators are working to complete a final deal by the end of June. Talks will resume next week in Vienna. It was announced just today. In the meantime, legislation is expected to pass both the Senate and the House that would block Obama from using his current authority to waive congressional sanctions against Iran for at least 30 days after any final agreement, to give lawmakers time to weigh in. However, even if Congress rejected a final agreement, Obama could take unilateral actions that, when coupled with European and UN sanctions relief, would allow a deal with Tehran to be implemented. The president could suspend some existing U.S. sanctions with his waiver authority. He could issue new orders to permit financial transactions that otherwise are banned under current law, and he could simply take certain Iranians and entities, including nearly 24 Iranian banks, off U.S. target lists, meaning they no longer would be subject to sanctions. Only Congress can terminate its legislative sanctions, and those are some of the toughest penalties against Iran because they target its energy sector, central bank, and key segments of its economy. But experts say Obama can neutralize the effect of some of those sanctions, too, and work with the Europeans to neutralize others. Boy, I'll tell you, if you don't see the war coming, I sure do. I mean, don't you really? Think about it. How about this? A driver who hit a toddler starts events that leave 4 dead. Damani Terry was just wanted to join a group of girls dancing in a park across the street. The 2-year-old stepped into the road right into the path of an oncoming van. The van hit the toddler, and the driver jumped out to check on the badly injured boy, setting into motion a chain of events that included an uncle fatally shooting his own nephew and a stranger and then taking his own life. In the end, 4 people were dead. It all started Sunday as Archie Brown Jr. drove his van through the northwest side of Milwaukee on an errand to Home Depot. Brown hit Damani and leaped from his vehicle to attend to the toddler. Damani's 15-year-old brother, who had been celebrating a birthday in a nearby house, ran to his brother after witnessing the accident.